Hello there. Welcome back to HI EEUS English. Today, we are going to talk about a mystery. It is a mystery that makes many English learners want to pull their hair out. Have you ever been in this situation? You are watching a Hollywood movie or listening to your favorite English podcast. You feel great because you understand almost everything. You think to yourself, wow, I am finally becoming an English master. But then, 5 minutes later, a person walks up to you and asks a simple question like, what do you think about the weather today? Suddenly, your brain turns into a piece of fried chicken. You know the words, you can see them in your head, but they just won't come out of your mouth. You stand there saying, the weather is good. Yes. Then you walk away and feel so frustrated. Why does this happen? Is your brain broken? No, I promise it isn't. Today, we are going deep into the secret of the silent period and the science of why your ears are faster than your tongue. By the end of this video, you will stop feeling guilty and start feeling confident. Are you ready? Let's dive in. First, let's look at your brain. Imagine your brain has two different rooms. Room number 1 is the library. This is where you store all the words you have ever heard or read. This is your passive vocabulary. Room number 2 is the factory. This is where you build sentences and push them out of your mouth. This is your active vocabulary. When you spend years studying in school, you are basically just putting books into the library. You have thousands of books, but the door between the library and the factory is very small and narrow. When you try to speak, all those words try to run through that small door at the same time, and they get stuck. It's like a traffic jam in your head. Have you ever felt that traffic jam? It's annoying, right? In linguistics, we call this the gap between input and output. You see, understanding a language and producing a language are two completely different skills. It's like watching a professional chef cook a perfect steak on YouTube. You understand the steps. You know he puts salt, pepper, and butter. But does that mean you can go into the kitchen and cook like a Michelin star chef immediately? Of course not. You might burn the steak, or worse, burn the whole kitchen down. Speaking a language is a physical skill, just like cooking or playing the piano. It requires muscle memory in your mouth and fast connections in your brain. Now, let's talk about a very famous idea called the silent period. In the 1970s, a researcher named Stephen Krashen noticed something interesting about children. When a child starts to learn their first language, or even a second one, they don't start talking on day 1. They spend months just listening. They're like little sponges, soaking up all the sounds and rhythms. During this time, they might look like they aren't learning anything, but they are. They are building their internal map of the language. This is the silent period. As adults, we are very impatient. We want to learn 5 words today and give a speech tomorrow. When we can't do it, we feel like failures. But what if I told you that being silent is a natural part of the process? Your brain is busy processing the data. It's like downloading a very large game on your computer. You can't play the game while it's at 10%. You have to wait for the download to finish. So here's a question for you. How long have you been downloading English? A few months? A few years? Tell me in the comments. I really want to know. But wait, there is another reason why you can't speak, and this one is a bit of a brain bully. It's called the affective filter. Think of it as an invisible wall that goes up when you are stressed, bored, or embarrassed. When this wall is high, even if you know the word, the wall blocks it. This is why you can speak English perfectly when you're alone in the shower, singing to your shampoo bottle. But in public, you forget everything when you talk to a boss or a stranger. In the shower, your wall is down. You are the king of English. But in public, you are afraid of making a mistake. You are afraid people will laugh at your accent. Let's be honest. We all have a little perfectionist monster inside us. This monster whispers, if you can't say it perfectly, don't say it at all. This monster is a liar. Making mistakes is the only way to build the bridge between the library and the factory. If you don't use the words, the bridge stays weak. I want you to imagine a stick man. Let's call him Bob. Bob wants to learn to ride a bike. He reads 10 books about bikes. He understands the physics of balance. But the first time Bob gets on the bike, he falls. Does Bob say, "Oh no, I understood the book. Why did I fall? I must be stupid"? No, Bob just gets up and tries again. Speaking English is exactly like Bob's bike. You are going to fall, you are going to say he go instead of he goes, and guess what? The world will not end. People will still understand you. Now, let's talk about the mental translator. This is a big problem for B1 learners. When someone speaks to you in English, you translate it to your native language, think of an answer in your native language, and then try to translate it back to English. That's a lot of work. Your brain is like an old computer from 1995 trying to run a modern 4K video. It's going to freeze. The secret to breaking the silent period is to stop translating and start mapping. Instead of connecting the English word apple to your local word, connect the word apple directly to the image of a red, crunchy fruit. How do we do this? We start small. This brings us to some fun solutions. One of my favorite methods is called self-talk. I know, it sounds a bit crazy. People might think you're talking to a ghost. But talking to yourself in English is the best low-stress practice. When you are making breakfast, say out loud, "I am cracking an egg. Now I'm putting it in the pan. Oh no, I burnt it. I'm a terrible chef." By doing this, you are practicing the physical movement of speaking without the affective filter wall. No one is judging you except the egg. Another great trick is shadowing. This is when you listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say, almost at the same time. You aren't just repeating words, you're copying their emotion, their speed, and their melody. It's like singing along to a song. You don't have to think about the grammar because the speaker already did that for you. You are just training your mouth muscles. Think of your mouth like a gym. If you want big muscles, you have to lift weights. If you want a fluent tongue, you have to move your mouth muscles every day. I want to ask you something. Have you ever tried shadowing, or do you prefer to learn by writing in a notebook? Both are okay, but one helps you speak much faster. As we continue this journey, I want you to remember that the goal of a language is communication, not perfection. If you can communicate your idea, you have won. Even if your grammar is a bit messy, if the other person understands you, that is a success. Think about it. If a person comes to you and says, "Water, me, thirsty, please," do you laugh at their grammar? No, you give them water because you understand they are thirsty. Native speakers are usually much nicer than the perfectionist monster in your head. So, let's summarize the secrets we found today. First, your library is just full and you need to build a bridge to the factory. Second, the silent period is a normal biological stage. Don't fight it, just keep feeding your brain good input. Third, lower your affective filter wall. Be brave, be messy, and be okay with being a bit silly. And finally, practice shadowing and self-talk to turn that passive knowledge into active power. You are doing much better than you think. The fact that you can understand this video right now is proof that you have worked hard. Your library is huge. Now we just need to wake up the librarian and start moving some books out the door. Don't let the silent period scare you. It's not a wall. It's just a long hallway you are walking through. Soon you will reach the door at the end and you will step out into the sunlight of fluency. Before we go, I have a small challenge for you. Today, find an object in your room, look at it, and say 3 sentences about it in English out loud. Just 3. It could be about your phone, your cat, or even your dirty socks. Do it right now. Did you do it? Great. You just took a step across that bridge. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the brain of a language learner, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to HI EEUS English. It really helps the channel grow and allows me to make more stories for you. Remember, keep listening, keep dreaming, and most importantly, keep speaking, even if it's just to your eggs. See you in the next story. Goodbye for now.